seminar. The chairman for this session brings more than 34 years of rich experience in cement industry in India and abroad. Is an expert in project management of cement.
Delegates, speakers, and industry colleagues. It is a privilege to chair this technical session on project management strategy and opportunity in cement industry. First of all, I thank NCB and organizers for getting together such distinguished group of people from expert to practitioners. Currently, cement industry is going through a rapid transformation. Already Neeraj and Lakshmi mentioned that our capacity, India is having second gas production capacity of more than 700 tons per million tons per annum, and still continuing to expand at the rate of at least 50 million tons per annum. At the same time, we are having increasingly high pressurizing targets related to sustainability, especially reduction of CO2 footprints, considering that our cement industry is contributing approximately 7 to 8% of total carbon emission. In this evolving landscape, driven by the capacity expansion, challenging sustainability goals, etc., and need of speedy execution of the project, today's session is going to be, it is extremely timely as well as important. As far as project management is concerned, now project management is no more confined to the maintaining timelines as well as cost. It is the strategic capability of the company that is defining competitiveness of that company. So, in this session, in fact, we are going to bring diverse perspective, starting global perspective from our consultants, those who are having global insight, and then practical case studies, and in addition to practical case study, emerging best practices, how to execute the project timely within the budget and in a safer way. So, I welcome all the presenters now and looking forward for having very engaging and insightful discussion. Thank you. So, we from EY.
Good morning to all of you, and on behalf of EY and NCB, I welcome all the project leaders and thank you for sparing time. So let me start with a quick introduction by the time this presentation comes up. I'm partnered with EY. I lead a team of almost 300 engineers, wherein we support multiple clients, and if I may say, almost $30 billion of US dollars of investment we are seeing in private sectors in India. So today I've been entrusted with a responsibility, which I would say a huge responsibility. Like, what are we doing? How can we do as a knowledge partner? As a knowledge partner, how can we help industry in overcoming the challenges which all of us are seeing together? So with this, just give us a second. So let me think there is some technical this thing going on. So in the meantime, let me start with the 4 challenges which we generally see across when we are setting up a project, cement project or any other project. So as we all know that labor shortage or availability, non-availability is one of the biggest challenges which we all see. So there is 20% shortage in the headcount and there is a 20% drop on productivity side also. So now, just to put that in context, when we set up a cement plant of, let's say, almost a 3 MTPA, we need almost 12 lakh man days for one plant. 12 lakh man days, one plant, and we are I'm having trouble with this. So, 12 lakh man days, keeping them continuously on one project site, which is away from home for them, and all different stream is a Herculean task, especially in a country like India where we have a crop cutting season or if I may say a festival or rainy season which comes here. So every 2 months we have a disruption. For that disruption of 10 days or 5 days, that mobilization eats up almost let's say a month, which is a Herculean task for everyone, including the contractors and the project owners. So with this challenge, like now whatever we have limited we can do about it. But yes, there is another side to it which we can help and say these number of days are not required or least required. So we would talk about some of the innovations and digitalizations which we have done in other industries as well as tried and tested in cement industries also. So I'll divide that in 2 parts. One is innovation and second is digitalization. Before that, let me also talk about 2-3 other challenges which we've seen and which we all talk about, and how we have learned working with senior leaders in this sector. I will also talk about that. So the drawing challenge. So for example, the contractor would say, I don't have drawing. The civil designer would say that I don't have input. Then when we go to procurement, he say I don't have PR. So where is that stuck? That that is something which is very, very Herculean, and we don't know where the actual problem really lies. So that's second aspect which we are talking about. Third aspect which we are talking about is manual documentation. So whatever we do, whatever in contracts we do, in projects we do, everything happens manually. We have moved to WhatsApp, but we have not become digital. So that's the third challenge which we have seen that keeps us back. And the fourth and final one which I would want to talk about is when we are given that this project is to be set it up. The concept document doesn't say anything. But when the operation teams come and say, boss, give me the plan, then they have a hell lot of a long list that these are the 50 things which I want, which was never in our brief. So these are the 4 problems which I would want to talk about, and that's what and I'll also go through few solutions which we have implemented at multiple clients and including few of cement clients also. So let me start with the innovation piece, because and these all innovative ideas which I'm talking about, we all know. However, I would want to emphasize that despite of that fact that we all know, but our implementation on our projects is still very, very low. So let me start with a cut and bend plant. We all know that if I deploy a cut and bend plant at my project site, so I can reduce almost 100 people on daily basis. But still the adoption is very, very low. So that is something which we have seen, that nowadays all A-grade EPC contractors have started building the cost. Actually, it's a saving, it's not a cost, which we have seen. All the EPC companies and major, like all the companies, for example, we work back with, they've started mentioning in their RFP as a mandatory condition, including mentioning in, that these are the resources required and you have to do that. So this is the first item which we have seen that helps. Second is modularization, like changing from concrete to precast. So we've seen multiple buildings in cement. If I talk about cement, so all the load centers, all the WTPs, all the cable galleries and conveyor belt. So the foundation and footings, they all can be converted to precast. Generally, these are the items which are always the last in when we are about to commission the plant. So these are the things which are missing, because these are small things which we have seen that they are left for the last, but they then become critical at the last moment. So these are few innovation ideas which I presume that the labor gap of 20% and the productivity gap of 20% can help us reduce this manpower shortage to an extent, not completely mitigate, but to an extent. These innovation ideas can help us, and obviously there are many more. I'm just talking about few illustrations. So that is something which I wanted to talk about. Now moving on to digitalization. So as we speak, so if I talk about operation of plant, and if I talk about kiln operation, there are multiple AI interventions which have been designed. And almost entire gating to dispatch out is all digitalized through SAP. But when we talk about our project, only ordering and payment is through SAP. And there are small point-based solutions which we have developed and which are inconsistently being used, not used by all of them. So that takes away lot of our energy and bandwidth. So I'll show you few examples which we have again deployed and implemented at multiple locations. So I'll take an example of I'll straight away jump to S-curve, which we all see day in, day out. Now, S-curves show us where are we getting delayed. But it would not show you that if I improve my labor productivity by 20%, where is my completion date heading? Or 40%. So I'll show you a quick example of how this can happen through technology. So this is a typical S-curve which we all see. Now, if I talk about this red line, this is what our baseline is. Green is where we are, and the dotted line is where we are headed based on the current pace. So now, if we want to see that if I improve this by 20%, if I improve the labor availability by 20%, what would be our timeline? So you would see our completion and our everything has changed. Apart from that, what are the factors which are guiding this forecast? That is also there. Because else it's a simple math, which can be done over a calculator also, which doesn't need a time. So the point is, these critical factors, what is driving this and what would change, that is also very, very important. That can happen by this. And if we say we want to improve it to 40%, you would see that 40%, that change of 20% has taken the project to July. Yes. Accordingly, the guiding forecast also has changed. So moving on to another perennial issue which we all face is our drawings, where the drawings and designs are stuck. So first, please bear with me, it's a bit complicated dashboard. So step 1 is giving input to designer. Step 2 is that design from mechanical moving to civil. Third is civil to design, and then GFC issuance. So what we have done is we have linked that workflow at the back end, and this shows against a plan of, let's say, 10%, wherein we were supposed to our input submission to designer was supposed to be completed 10%. Against that, it's only 9% or 8%. So we have bifurcated that in different stages, which helps identify where the real challenge is and why is it pending. And we have against capability of slicing and dicing and saying, boss, it is pending with whom and what is the time since when it is pending. So this table shows that what is the detail and where the devil lies. So this is what this dashboard shows us. And just a quick snippet of how do you keep a track and how do you ensure that your executive summary of your entire project or all the projects a project person is seeing. So it shows that yes, this is how we are faring against our baseline. So where all the So the first one shows that discipline-wise, what is the discipline-wise progress? Where are we lagging? What is the cost delta between whatever we are doing, whatever we budgeted versus actual, and what is the procurement status, what is fabrication status, so on and so forth. So it's just a executive summary for a person to see and react. So after this, I'll move on to so that is the handover. So the famous issue we have that what this guy wants, what the operation guy wants. So we've learned from Anupam ji, C1, C2, C4, C3 and C4. So this handover from civil to mechanical to electrical to operation. So this is what has been defined in C1, C2, C3, C4. And wherever these approvals are stuck, it's again shown to everyone transparently. So in this, if just to help you understand, so for example, in this building, for example, the first slab requires 2 C1, 2 C0, 3 C0s and no C3. Again here 2 C0 and C1 and then rest all are pending. So this gives a clarity to all the people involved that where the things are stuck. So that the person who has made a smaller mistake or smaller delay cannot hide himself, and that happens within few seconds. And also review the schedule if it is made by someone else. And as we speak, we are working on this AI platform to develop crane mobilization schedule also depending on the front. So I'll show you first 2 scenarios for your ready reference, and then I'll pause for questions.
Have you ever struggled to find insights buried in your project data? Not anymore. Introducing EY's Genie AI, the revolutionary AI-driven solution which harnesses natural language processing to deliver on-demand insights and analytics. With just a simple text or voice command, stakeholders can effortlessly navigate the complexities of capital projects. Track project milestones and budgets in real time, Let's use another prompt. Generate stunning graphs, insightful pie charts, and comprehensive tables in seconds, all tailored to your project's needs. Now, let's explore how Genie AI enhances project scheduling. With our AI schedule creation feature, you can easily add your project name, select the start and end dates, and choose the work breakdown structure, WBS, from levels L1 to L5. You have the flexibility to either write a detailed prompt or upload a relevant file, such as an RFP or scope document. Simply click on Generate, and within minutes, it will create a comprehensive schedule tailored to your inputs. After the schedule is generated, you can review the Gantt chart and all scheduled tasks. If needed, you can also add tasks manually. Additionally, by clicking on the Schedule Analyzer, you can perform a thorough analysis of the schedule against the DCMA 14 points assessment. This feature generates a detailed report that includes the overall score, insights on the DCMA 14 pointers, and identifies potential risks along with mitigation strategies. You can even upload any existing schedule for separate analysis. We can also customize and train Genie AI specially for you according to your specific prompts, providing a personalized experience. Transform project management with Genie AI, your intelligent partner for precise and effortless decision making.
So I think we are done. In case we have few questions, we can take or. Yeah.
What are the key KPIs or tag points that you use to show its effectiveness vis-a-vis the traditional way of non-AI project management technique?
So sir, I would answer this question a bit differently. Principles of AI remains as we used to do. The only thing we are trying to solve is there are tedious things which generally a human would not want to do again and again. So we are trying to build shortcuts for that thing which human used to do or chooses not to do. So we are just saying that, okay boss, you free up your bandwidth and do something more productive. So that's the idea. So we are not changing any basic premise of project management or schedule preparation.
You mentioned about the skill, the shortage of labor.
Yeah.
How AI can help in that? The tool can help in that.
So sir, as of now, we've seen. So I'm running a project in US also as we speak. So what we've seen in those developed economies also. There are so in US or in developed world, what happens is there is a Amazon like websites wherein you can hire contractors and all, which we don't have in India. Now AI, what AI does is the search results are more accurate using those platforms. So that is what AI can do, which is I think which we would take quite a long time in India to develop because we don't have that database which is credible and we can trust on that platform saying, boss, this is all there and we can just trust blind. So
There are a lot of issues connected with the AI,
obviously,
like the geopolitics, supply chain, the availability of raw materials, inventory management.
right.
So these all are part of the delay of the project.
Yes.
If not timely implemented or timely observed or monitored.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you Mr. Shailesh Agrawal and EY team. So, the time is over now. Okay, so we can take one more question from Mr. Demla, and afterwards we will start.
Shailesh, first is that 20% labor optimization. That is not understood because there are factors when we do the project. Of course, we cannot monitor productivity, and then 20% reduction is too high a figure, and labor is always uncertain. my personal view on project management, site management is that if the client is ready to do two things, the efficiency can improve. One is the flow of money has to be very fast. Some of the clients try to hold the money, that is dangerous. That means the day they put the bill, within 2 days the money should flow to the labor. Second is that how to promote the labor, that means you should keep some money, or client should keep some money for risk and contingencies. We were talking in the morning also. That means when the contractor takes the labor, they squeeze so much that contractor want to continue with that labor. And there is a need of extra labor, and that is always costly. So the best factor is keep the risks and contingencies, either pay to the subcontractor or give incentive to the labor and try to retain them instead of going 8 times in a year, 4 times for subsidy and 4 times for festivals.
Right.
They should not move.
Right.
There lies the gist.
So, that the facts you are mentioning is absolutely right, but there are small addition which I wanted to make to what you are saying. That when we write our contract with contractor, we don't build the program management aspects in that. We would say, boss, इतने दिन के लिए आपको आदमी लगाने हैं, ये resources दे आना, but we don't write. हम shifting, for example, 3 में 4.2 मीटर करेंगे, 3.6 मीटर करेंगे. We don't write that. Yes, we don't write that so that and contractor के साथ हम align भी नहीं करते हैं बॉस कि आपको 14 महीने में नहीं 12 महीने में काम करना है. And every now and then whenever we go on site, अगर उनके progress सही है तो the next target is 1 महीना reduce कर लेते हैं. So all these things are there. All these things are there. I completely understand and appreciate the point you are making. But however, the point I was making is I've seen wastage. I've seen a shortfall of 20%. The innovative ideas which I was talking about, they may not yield that 20%. They may make 5%, 4%, whatever percentage is. The idea is that we need to, because as we speak, almost 10 plants of 3 million ton or 4 million ton are in progress. So if those plants are in progress, so we are saying if we need 12 lakh man-days for one plant, multiply by 10. So that's a Herculean task. And wherever I've seen, the shortage ranges between 20% to 30% or 40%. So now we can only reduce the demand. We can't do anything about supply. So that was my point.
Okay, thanks, Shailesh. So after completing all the presentation, once again we will be taking few more questions so that they can clarify in person. Otherwise, after completing the presentation also, they can be contacted personally and one can get the clarification.
Sure.
So
Thank you.
once again, thanks, inviting you.
Thank you, Mr. Jain, and I would like to thank Nikhil, who is director with us, Hassan and Arun, to put this together. And thank you everyone for spending time today. Thank you.
Okay, so now I will invite Mr. Rajneesh Kapoor for his presentation on building faster and cheaper while building safer.
You don't need a mic to be audible. People who work with you. And I'm sticking my neck out by talking on a topic which is very, very close to my heart. And since morning we have heard people talking, right from Neeraj to the DG and my previous speaker. We focused on trying to do the projects fast. In an industry where 1 day of production loss of a 3 million ton plant could be somewhere around 2 to 3 crores in terms of EBITDA. I think the focus of entire leadership, including me when I was leading a cement company, is jaldi karo. And I am going to try to break that myth today by saying that we can build faster, we can build cheaper by building safer. So that is what I want to talk to you. Build safe, build with housekeeping, you will build fast and you will build cheap. And I'm going to try today to make a mindset shift and leave one thought in your minds. If I am successful in that, a mindset shift and a thought, I would say I've done my talk there. So let's see what happens by the end. So I'm going to bring perspectives from the front lines of leadership. I've seen it all, from the battlefield to the boardroom. Quite a few of you know me, but those who don't know me, I was in the Indian Armed Forces for 27 years in the engineering support with the weapon system and other missile systems of the country. And then to executive coaching, from high action battlefield to equally volatile cement plants to now an executive coaching where you're supposed to keep quiet and listen to the other person. So I bring the entire perspective to this talk. From this picture where as a colonel, my job was, what you see behind in the camouflage nets are the repair bays somewhere in the northern sector of a country, to take your troops safely, deploy them and repair the weapon system that comes. We say that army mein kaam to hai, we have to lose our life, we have to be brave. But you don't want to lose your people doing stupid things. You want to make sure that the equipment which is broken down reaches your plant well and your people have got the facilities to repair it. So that is one perspective I bring. And the second perspective I bring is this picture. This picture was clicked on the first or second visit of mine to JK Cement plant in Nimbahera. I found these 4 boys unloading carbon black. Their whole body was covered with soot. They were wearing a mask on their face and I called them. I could not bear that sight. I took this picture and put it on my table. And I think Prakhar, you came afterwards sometime. And I made it my goal that I am going to change this in my company. And for people who have visited JK Cement Nimbahera now, it is one of the oldest plants, but among the most modern in terms of infra that has been created. This picture tells me that it can be done. So, I am going to now looking at safety and housekeeping move away from the concept of preventing failures, normally we are looking at ye kharab nahi hona chahiye, this should not go wrong. Move from preventing failures to creating success. That is the mindset shift I am talking about. How do we look at your plant management, be it project, be it plant operations? Safety is not to prevent failures, but to generate success. And leadership actually sets the tone for this. And then what happens? Conversations at the top matter. Surprisingly today, since the morning, all the conversations that have happened on do it fast, do it cheap, and sustainability. I am happy it was there. But safety was not there. We did not hear of safe and systematic working. So the conversations at the top need to change. We generally talk, can we go faster? Can we do it cheaper? And while talking about that, what we do is, we take calls that, okay, for this particular part of our project, yaar, isko kar do, this is hurry. The MD is asking for the report, let's do it. Other things, we'll follow the safety afterwards. Chalo, chodo isko, now let's do it. And what happens is, we are giving quite small decisions which are silently sneaking into our system and telling our people it is fine to compromise on this thing for a small part of the project. And then it grows and you never know, it becomes a big thing. And question to all of you is, as project managers, as people leading the projects, what are the small decisions you are taking on a day-to-day basis which compromise safety, which compromise housekeeping? Just reflect on that. And sometimes the difference between routine and tragedy is just a missed precaution. And I share my personal failure and experience in the next slide. This picture is a depiction. You all know when Parliament was attacked, we had Operation Parakram. I was at that point of time commanding a missile workshop. And we were mobilizing from south to north somewhere to deploy. The tanks shown here are not the ones which were there. This is just an AI generated image. But we had our missile launchers there. And this boy on the top was, so when we moved the army equipment in railway wagons and all, we cover them. We try to camouflage them so that people don't see what's happening. We try to move the trains in the night, especially when we are moving high profile. I was standing below. There was a hurry. Army headquarters was after us. Mobilize Prithvi immediately, take them to the site, give us confirmation we are ready. Pushing these people. And the metal rod that this man had got lifted slightly, came into the electromagnetic wave spectrum of the overhead line. He got electrocuted and fell down right in front of him. He was half burned in that second. Fortunately, he survived. He was a boy who used to stand in front of my office as a guard for making people to come in. I could not bear that sight. What was the hurry I was doing? Why could I not have waited and organized these things better? Why could I have not given him a wooden rod to get the net pulled? All of us come across similar failures at some point of time in our life. This changed my perspective and it taught me It taught me that speed without discipline is fragile. Just कर दो जल्दी से करने से काम नहीं होता है. It has to be organized. And therefore, let's talk from this. What are some of the myths we as leaders carry? The first myth that we carry is that people are untrained. लोग तो गलती करेंगे, accident तो होंगे. Our people are not safety conscious. That is a myth. We don't dive into the positive side of our people, and we always say that people are a problem and we need to control this problem. We need to control these people by rules and regulations, not by going into their heart. Second is, success is measured by absence of negative events. जब तक कोई मरा नहीं, जब तक कोई एक्सीडेंट नहीं हुआ, सक्सेसफुल है. And numbers we know, we are Hindustanis. We can manage all kinds of numbers. The first thing I learned when I joined the cement plant company in India was that no number was transparent. All numbers you had to really deep down find. So numbers can be compromised. And if we are going to measure our success by purely absence of events, sorry, we are never going to reach the journey that we want to. And then there is this unspoken belief which I just spoke of. Safety can wait. Let's first finish this. And second, housekeeping is only when the chairman is visiting or the managing director is visiting or the manufacturing head is visiting. बाकी time पे housekeeping चलता है. Have you all not seen in your plants that before your visit, 7 days before my visit in every plant, the whole bloody plant used to be working in housekeeping. And I said, okay, fine, I'll make a visit twice in a month. So if you have done it once and then after 15 days I'm coming, your housekeeping is going to stay better. So, we don't have a safety culture. ये हमने आप लोगों ने कई बार बोला होगा, यार इस कंपनी में ना सेफ्टी कल्चर नहीं है. कल्चर क्या होता है? कल्चर होता है किसी चीज को बार बार रिपीटेडली करेक्टली करते जाओ. वो काम जो आप तब कर रहे हो जब आपको कोई नहीं देख रहा है, दैट इज कल्चर. सो कल्चर इज क्रिएटेड बाय हू? By us. And by saying that we don't have a safety culture, we are actually saying, I have got no safety culture, I am not responsible. And under pressure, हम अपने fall back पे चले जाते हैं. We don't do what is right, we do what is easy or what is going to be punished by our boss if he comes to know. And moving from this leadership myth, quickly, the reality of execution. It's a very simplistic chart. No? People can spend a lot of time on it. On the base layer is disorder. Lack of planning, lack of doing things like we were just talking, labor nahi aaya time pe, kuch nahi hua. Disorder will lead to friction. Obstacles of some form in your working. It could be the non-availability of people, it could be either non-availability of equipment, or it could be even some work not done properly. And then lastly what happens? It results in delay. delay of project, and then what happens? It results in cost. And what do we talk on this iceberg or the pyramid that we see? We talk of the top two things. हम ऊपर की बात करते हैं, cost and delay. From where is it coming? It's coming from disorder and friction. We don't talk of it. We don't try to engineer solutions. We try to just look at the end result. And that is what I wanted to just show by this simple pictorial depiction. And the reality of execution. This is a site, this is not actually the site original photo, this is an AI generated image. I have started learning AI of late. And Devla Saab will remember, Bangladesh ka project. Wahan pe, we did Bangladesh project when Devla Saab was in a different company. And it was a grinding unit, doubling of capacity, adding of a new cement line. I went to the site after 7-8 days and I found something like that picture. I hope the pointer works. Yeah. So I want this picture. And I called 2 boys. I said, "Idhar aao, ye baksa lo, aur isko udhar move karo." And the kind of obstacles they had to cross. And then I took them to another site jahan pe kuch nahi pada tha. I said, "Ab leke jao aur cross karo." And the answer was very clear. If your project site is this is over depiction, but a majority of our project sites are somewhere very close to this. And if it is this, you know what is going to work. So, if you remove friction, if you remove obstacles, your work is going to happen fast. Question to you. कौन सी साइट आप अलाउ करोगे अपने काम में? Are you going to allow the left side or are you going to allow the right side? Or are you going to progress and move towards the right side? World is never perfect, so there will always be a room for improvement. So efficiency is not created by working harder. बहुत काम कर रहे हैं. Efficiency is also created by removing what should not be there, removing the obstacles, making work happen easily, safely. And this is the lived reality across projects. आप लोग इसको देखिए. Project में, when I used to visit cement plants, I used to at times wonder, grinding media lying out in drums with water inside it, rusted. Refractory is getting damaged, and when the bloody kiln breaks down and the refractory is needed, you know refractory because it's खराब हो गई है. Or when you put it inside, after a few days it goes. This is people who are operating in plants, material misplaced, refractory damaged, cables lying all over, nobody knowing what that cable is for, people slipping and falling down for all these things. These are lived realities across the projects. And execution does not fail because things are difficult. It fails because the basics are ignored. And what's really failing? This is also a pictorial depiction. Actually, the man in the center should be me and 3 more people. So in one of the projects, I was told that, sir, a person has got hurt in his head. I said, "Achha bhaiya, kya ho gaya?" No, sir, he was wearing helmet, everything was fine. Just that he got hurt. I said, if he was wearing helmet, how did he get hit? What fell down? Sir, some nut fell down from top. I said, okay, let me visit the site. I went to the site and I learned this from Holcim. In Holcim we had a rule that if there is any casualty, any fatality, the group CEO would come down, whether it's Chaibasa or anywhere else. Imagine presence in 40-50 countries, the group CEO makes it his goal to visit any site of fatality, because when you see it at site, you know what is happening. So when I picked up that helmet, I looked at it and I said, it's very light in weight. But ये क्या है? मैंने कहा एक और helmet ऐसी लेके आओ. I took it, took a little bit of a small little nut or a hammer and pounded it, it cracked. I said, what's this? He said, no, contractors are visiting this, workers are working this, wearing this helmet. So I, as the managing director of the company, am wearing a perfect helmet, who's never going to be on the site where the risk is there. Whenever I'm going to be there, the work is not going to happen. People who are working 24/7 are wearing helmets which can break. So, go into the root cause. We found out that in a country like Bangladesh, we had mandated that you're going to wear helmets. पैसा नहीं दिया था कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, तो उसने सबसे सस्ती वाली हेलमेट L1 मतलब L-1 और L-3 वाली लेके अपने लोगों के सिर पे पड़ा दी। हमने कहा the problem was mine, not the contractors, because I had not allocated funds. So I allocated funds for the helmet, I allocated funds for the shoes, I specified, brought it in bulk and gave it to them. What happened? Then I called all the workers, had a chat with them कि भाई ऐसे ऐसे हुआ है, आप लोग बताइए. They said, sir, place where we rest is not very good, it's not very comfortable. I said, okay, let's give you that. And providing all that, the project started running faster. And I did a quick math. I might have given them about 15 से 20 lakh Bangladeshi taka. And I lost 2 man days. The project got completed much in advance, thanks to Devla Sahab also. But that project got completed and we saw the result. So if you're making sure that you're providing, so all that 20% shortage may be so many times, when we are working in a project, we find there are people who are sitting down idle and not having work. If we can allocate work properly, we can do work properly.
So Mr. Kapoor, now there will be need to expedite.
Yeah.
Supplies.
So 2 things that happen, I'll just finish in 5 minutes. Compliance versus conviction. So compliance is helmet पहना दी. Conviction है देखना है कि helmet कौन सी पहनाई है. Following things in letter or following things in spirit. In letter, fine, we have followed the rules. In spirit, we are not seeing what is happening. And discipline is your values in action. How your values in action play out. And since we are falling short, so what is really failing here? It's not technology, not capability, it's the mindset. Focusing on rules and compliance rather than understanding why work is successful. It's your discipline, it's your commitment. And what is the industry reality? I just picked up a few data and you will see every year we kill a few people. I have deliberately used the word kill. People are getting killed. In the year January 2025, 5 people got killed, 14 got injured. Maybe border pe bhi itne nahi mare ho. So keep this point in mind. That is the industry reality. And across the cement companies, same patterns everywhere. Focus is only on safety metrics, which masks the real problem. It's about behaviors and not numbers. And when safety becomes a number, we have already lost the plot. Focus is only on numbers and we tend to forget the human element. Behind every unknown worker who loses his life is a family, his wife, his child, his parents. Just keep that in mind. When somebody dies, our questions to the team are, अच्छा किसका था? कॉन्ट्रैक्टर का था, चलो बच गए. ओके, कहाँ का था? यहाँ का था कि बाहर का था? बाहर का था, चलो बच गए. लोकल गांव वाले अंदर नहीं करेंगे. अच्छा कितना कॉम्पेंसेशन देना पड़ेगा? कभी ये नहीं बोलते कि उसका नाम क्या था, उसकी उम्र क्या थी, उसके बच्चे कहाँ पे हैं? What is his family? This is the thought I wanted. So I made one shift and one thought. The thought of your social responsibility being in a position of power. Remember this picture. And now quickly, same resources, 2 outcomes. One project, there are problems. Other project, everything is going fine. Obviously, predictable execution is going to happen in a project where everything is going fine. And who will report higher safety violations? Just a question to you. Project A or Project B? Project B. Anybody else? Who will report more safety violations? Huh? B. So how many are saying A? Raise your hand. So everybody says it's B? You know, Amy Edmondson is a researcher on psychological safety and she did a research on ICUs. And she found that the ICUs which were best performing reported more number of mistakes than the ICUs which are not performing better. They reported less number of mistakes. So yes, Project B will report more violations, but Project B will also have less number of fatalities.
Mr. Kapoor, we are running paucity of time. So
Yeah, I'm just moving on. So quickly what I want to tell you is that What is it that you need to do as a leader to create this environment? You need to create an environment of psychological safety. You need to create a culture of accountability. You need to have clear commitment, adherence, and strong safety culture. But remember, at the base is psychological safety. Allowing your people to tell you what is going wrong is one of the biggest qualities that as a leader we can do in project sites. And therefore, the foundations for safe cement project culture, from my view, are the intent, the discipline, the clarity of what you want to do, and the care of the people who are working for you. And so I leave you with the last slide with 3 messages. First, stop managing to avoid failure. Second, start leading to create success. And that is going to lead to you becoming competitive. Finally, I have tried it, tested it, and it has been proven. Thank you. I'm sorry for the
Thank you, Mr. Kapoor. So, Mr. Kapoor's message is loud and clear, speed, and thank you. So now I invite Mr. Anupam Agrawal for the presentation on transforming cement projects. Mr. Agrawal, please.
I'm Rupam. I'm working with Dalmia Cement and working the projects. Since morning, there are 2-3 things which are coming up very frequently. That putting up a project with the speed, safety, and the quality. These are the 3 basic topics which are coming up again and again. And we have been doing the projects in the last 30-40 years. I started my career in 1988-89 with one project with the Vikram Cement, Line 3. And since then we have been doing a lot of projects. And these are the programs 30 years back was the same program, and even today there is the same program. So it means there is something more need to be done, which we are still struggling with them. Arise, awake, and stop not at the goal is reached. I did a project in 2004, and that was my first project as a head of the project at site. And one very small colleague of mine has given one fundamental. I'll just tell you one story. There are 3 projects going parallel. One is at Potpatri, one is at Tadipatri, and one is at Aita Cement. And the 3 identical machines were ordered. And Demra Saab was one of the supplier of the arrow. And the competition was who did it fast. Who did it first. And we had a first meeting in the CEO office, and then it was decided that first all the machines will go to Aita Cement because the perception was the Aita Cement is moving faster than the Tadipatri, then the Potpatri. I went back to my site. I gathered more my team, had some 2 packs with them, and then tell them, sorry team, I lost to convince management that we are moving faster. And one very small boy, that time he was an engineer. And he comes up and tells me, sir, जाके बोलो उसको, clinker तो पहले हमें निकालना है. And then he has given one fundamental. He create a target for a day. और हिंदी में उसने बोला, रात की रोटी करके ही खाएंगे साहब. Believe me, that small talk of that young engineer has changed the fate of the project. कि रात की रोटी तो आज करके ही खाएंगे सर. And that was the fundamental of that project, and I am happy to share we did it first. So these are the few things era is aware will stop until the goal is reached. उसने उसको हिंदी में बोला था, ये स्वामी विवेकानंद का कोट है जो ये अंग्रेजी में लिखा है. We all talks about project, we all talks about planning, detailing, charting. EY is helping us to make all the kind of charts, beautiful charts to present to the CEOs and the board meeting. I personally believe integrity is the top of the agenda, and it's not the integrity which relate to the finance. Integrity in whatever you do. For me, the technical integrity is the topmost priority. If every one of my team started having that 100% technical integrity, my work is done. Quality, safety. Safety I learned in Holcim, safety is the license to lead. If you cannot behave safely, if you cannot remain safe, you cannot keep your people safe, you don't have license to lead. You cannot be the leader. With this philosophy, we are building in our projects, and thank you Kapoor sir. I have worked with Ajay, I have worked 2 days with Air Kapoor sir as well, and it's very difficult to speak after you. You are a great motivator speaker, and thank you very much. I have been part of with you in the same days. Transparency is one of the things which we are building up in the project. See what happens normally, we make a very beautiful chart in the rooms at head office, but did your worker who is doing this at site, does he know what is the target for this month? What is the target for this week? What is the target for today? It is grossly missing in most of the projects. We are trying to make it that everybody across the project, 2,000 people, 3,000 people who are working at site, must know what there we are going to achieve and how we are going to achieve. I was doing one presentation to Mr. Bangur when I was in Sri Cement, and one of the projects, Deepak will talk about it, Davargarh and the Ras and the Kadapa, Kodla. The things were getting some delays. Then Bangur sir has told me, Anupam, we are taking too much time to fail. He has given me this fundamental fail fast and correct faster. It generally happens in every project. We know this contractor is not performing, we waited for him, we give some incentive, we make some arrangement, we give him some extra machines, we give some extra resources, and then we keep struggling with him, and then probably after 3 months, 4 months, we decide, no, yaar, it's not working, let's keep one more contractor, let's keep change some philosophy, let's keep some more changes in the system, and by that time we are lost by 3 months. It's very important to accept, yes, this of our decision has not worked well. We failed to take a right decision. Stop at that particular moment and correct it faster. And because of this, lot of projects are getting delayed. One traditional item, we normally review the end date. ये काम 3 तारीख को खत्म होना चाहिए था. इवन आपका जो प्राइमवेरा में या प्रोजेक्ट माइक्रोसॉफ्ट प्रोजेक्ट में आप डालते हैं, तो वी जनरली जो आप प्रोजेक्ट मॉनिटरिंग को जिसको ऑर्डर देते हैं, ही नॉर्मली कैच अप द एंड डेट. वी स्टार्टेड मॉनिटरिंग द स्टार्ट डेट. इफ समथिंग इज नॉट स्टार्टिंग ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डे, द अलार्म शुड रेज ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डे, नॉट ऑन द कंप्लीशन डेट. To monitor the start date, not the end date. This is what we are changing in our projects. Speed through empowerment, decision and parallel execution. I will say, I normally talk to my team, every soldier is the captain of his own field. He don't require to wait for the decision from his boss. Empower him. Empower him so that he can take the decision of his own area of control. But everything should not come to the project head or should not come to me. at Delhi office. If we can really create that situation, that will create safety, quality and the speed of the project. I have a strong belief, no contractors take the job to fail in your projects. अपन बात करते हैं कि साहब वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बहुत अच्छा है, ये कॉन्ट्रैक्टर फेल हो गया, ये हो गया. Are we making a atmosphere? Every contractor, कई बार आपने देखा होगा कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्टर किसी कंपनी में सक्सेसफुल होता है, दूसरी कंपनी में फेल होता है. What are the basic root cause for this? कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्टर फेल होने के लिए आपसे काम नहीं लेता. कॉन्ट्रैक्टर फेल होते हैं because there is a significant delay in the engineering, and we are not able to give them at least 2 months visibility of the job. Any contractor who is working at your site should have design, drawing, fronts, machineries, everything possible, whatever he need to perform his job at least 2 months in advance. उसके 2 महीने बाद का जो टारगेट है उसके पास आज होना चाहिए, उसके बाद विजिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए. For this you need to have a very strong team for the designing, you need to have a right sequencing, you need to have a technical acceleration team which we created in Dalmia, and design optimization is one thing which I would like to talk about. Almost, if you see, 50 to 65% of the buildings can be standardized in a cement project. You don't require to have redesign every time. You change the consultant, he will change some column size, he will change something, he will change something, and then again everything has to be rebuilt. We are seriously working on standardization of those things. I am thankful to Mr. Sanjay Agrawal. He has given me this thought. He is otherwise also he is my elder brother, so he has been teaching me since my childhood. So the projects also he has been advocating this. Standardize the buildings. Almost 50 to 65% buildings in the cement plant can be standardized. Whomsoever is the supplier, it will not impact the size of the building and the detail of the building. Static sequencing is not only the civil or mechanical or electrical. Every building in the complete sense, civil, mechanical, electrical, instrument and the commissioning will have some cycle time. The bigger cycle time building should start first. प्री-हीटर पे सबका फोकस रहता है. एक मंसूर आलम एकमात्र प्राणी है हिंदुस्तान में, उसके अलावा कोई हीटर बनाता नहीं है. And he dictated his terms and conditions. At this program, I would like to tell all my friends, can we have a solution for this? Can we avoid this blackmail? Only one person in India is able to do this in 275 days. We started exploring this. We are recently contacted one of the German company who can build this pre-heater in a slip form. And almost with the 30-40 people, this can be done in 4 to 5 months. Most part is still not finalized. We are still working on this. And I invite people to start doing this kind of activity. 4,000 people working in a cement plant. We all need to work together. I am ready to spend my engineers, I am ready to spend myself. Let's create a team. How we can do a cement project in 2000 people. Let's decide first a half number of this. By innovation, by creating a repetitivity of the designing, by the constructability of the civil building especially is very, very important. It's extremely important. I know when I started my career, we used to build a clinker silo in jump form for traditional shutting things. Now up to 55 meter we are successfully doing the slip forming. In one of our recent projects, the entire slip forming of a clinker salvo is finished in 12 days and 12 hours only. 2004 when we built this Taripatri project, I know it was taken 3 months. So a lot of innovation has been done, but still a lot of things has to be required to be done. Procurement is another challenge. Every time when you go for a project, always there is a new target from your CEO. Cost is further reduced by 50 crore rupees, 100 crore rupees. And every order has to go 5%, 10% less than the last order. And then Daimler Sub does not agree for this, and then you all struggle with this. And finally, the entire process gets delayed. Correct, sir. So, there are a lot of things which is not required to be again repeatedly done. We started standardizing the packages. We started making the things simpler. So every time we do not to invent the wheel again. There are a lot of items for which we are dependent on the main supplier. When he gives you the feedback about the engineering, then only some machineries you will be ordering, like fans and all these elevators and everything. You have a 30-40 years of experience and you have a big team of engineers. And the same kind of engineers sitting at the other side as well. We started doing engineering at our end also. We started placing the orders for all the auxiliaries even before finalizing the main orders. So the total cycle time of the engineering and the procurement is reduced. And if you do a faster procurement, faster engineering, it will enable you to release the faster GFCs, good for construction drawings, and the good for construction drawing is there in hand with the contractor. We made some basic standards. If you have 40,000 meter cube of concrete drawing, then only mobilize the civil contractor. If you have 5,000 tons of fabrication drawing, then only mobilize the mechanical contractor. If you are able to achieve this, believe me, contractor will mobilize the required manpower resources. What happens, we give only the excavation drawing and start with civil contractor, you mobilize it. And then every contractor has around 25 to 40 lakhs rupees per month as the establishment cost. And if your project delays, it is going from his pocket. And basically it is not going from his pocket, it is going from your pocket. Ultimately he is going to charge from you only. यदि आपने initially उसको negotiate नहीं किया तो बाद में वो आपको claim बना के देने वाला है. And there will be a conflict.
So Mr. Agarwal, this is the time when you need to start summarizing.
Sure sir, sure sir. मेरा इसका ज़्यादा time नहीं है sir. This is the last line. This is the last line. I will tell you just few things about it. Workforce stability and the through welfare in an incentive. Sir, Kapoor साहब ने ये बात किया. We need to take care of our workers. We started standardizing our worker colony. It's not that every contractor will come and build as per his own will and fancy. We now started giving him a drawing. This is the drawing. By this drawing you have to make this thing. We are putting up a good number of scavengers in the colony, keeping it perfectly neat and clean. The doctors is placed for 24/7. 3 days medicine we are giving free of charge to them. And almost all the festivals are being celebrated in the labor colony. It is mandatory for the project head to be part of it. And every day, at least one HOD should visit 1 hour in the labor colony. And send his feedback to the personal department, HR department, and if it is critical, it can come to me. We displayed one phone number to our sites. Every worker can put up a message in that. He cannot bring up that phone number, but he can give the message. there is a problem, there is an unsafe condition, there is something. So there is a communication channel established, and the worker also knows that if nothing has been taken care of it can go directly up to the rally office. The phone number is displayed at almost all the sites. Quality, and generally in the older projects we used to keep 2 mechanical contractor and 2 civil contractor. We have changed this concept now. We are keeping 2 main contractors and 2-3 feeler contractors. And that has given a wonderful results to us. Every contractor has his own bandwidth. उसके पास 600 आदमी होगा, 700 आदमी होगा, 800 आदमी होगा, कुछ एक फिक्स गैंग होता है. उससे ज़्यादा वो कभी कर नहीं पाता. And if you want to do a project in 14 months or 15 months, sometimes it becomes very difficult, and the manpower crisis is always there. So 2 things which we are working. Once a worker comes to your site, he should not go home, he should feel happy, he should feel safe, he should feel that he has been taken care. And the second is the requirement of manpower should reduce. The drawing should not be seen only in terms of कितना मीटर क्यूब कम कर दिया आपने. बहुत सारे कंसल्टेंट हैं जो बोलते हैं साहब मेरे से आप काम कराएंगे तो मैं 15,000 मीटर क्यूब कम कर दूंगा. पर कई बार ड्राइंग ऐसी होती है कि उससे कस्टमेबिलिटी बहुत पुअर होती है. It takes a lot of time to custom. So we have formed a team which see the drawing in terms of constructability as well. कि कितना इजीली ये चीज़ कंस्ट्रक्ट हो सकती है, कैसे आराम से कंस्ट्रक्शन का हो सकता है, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को कम लेबर में कम रिसोर्सेज में कैसे काम हो सकता है. उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैं ड्राइंग को अपन ने मॉडिफाई करना चालू किया है एंड इज गिविंग द गुड रिजल्ट्स. आई टेल यू रिसेंटली वी आर doing one project at Belgaum, and I am happy to share that Belgaum project continuously for 6 months our team could deliver more than 10,000 meter cube of concreting, and more than 3,200 tons of erection when the mechanical erection started, and this is the 4th month, and I believe that even we will be crossing this month also 3,500 tons. And this will be, I think, one of the record in the cement industry. And this all could be achieved because all my soldiers are the captain of their own site. They don't require to come to us for any kind of a decision. And it's basically a game of momentum. If we can create that momentum at site, if we can create that pride at site, if we can create that winning attitude, probably the things are done. And I don't think that there is any technicality in the subject. I don't think there is any technical expertise is required. You need to be a good human being. Kapurta mein jaisa bola, you need to take good care of your people. It's not only workers, your engineers, your partners, your suppliers, your designers, your consultant. I believe that project can be done.
So, thank you, Mr. Agarwal.
Just the last line, sir. As a together, let's, as a team, let's start working how we can make it when we don't require so much of people in the cement plant. We all should form a team. I'm ready to spend some of the engineer from my side. Create a team who can work together and target for 2,000 people में हम कैसे सीमेंट प्लांट लगाएं, क्या ड्राइंग में मॉडिफाई करें, क्या सिस्टम में मॉडिफाई करें, लेट्स इनोवेट ऑन दिस एंड दिस द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ टाइम. आज तो फिर भी मिल रहा है, कल ये भी नहीं मिलेगा और आने वाला समय और ज़्यादा तकलीफ में रहेगा. बेटर है कि हम सब मिलकर उस पर काम करें. प्रॉब्ली इट विल बी ए विन-विन सिचुएशन फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal. Your message is clear. Discipline, project management, decentralization and integrity of the team is the key of success. Thanks a lot. So now I invite Mr. Prabhakar Srivastava for the case study on LC3C.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman Sri Jain sir, respected seniors, NCCBM officials, and dear friends and participants. I am Prakhar Srivastava from JK Cement. I am heading corporate quality function and product development. Possibly my presentation feel you some different to you all, but I and my team working in this project from 2019. Even Kapoor साहब जब plant आते थे तो the agenda, they are reviewed this project, the status of this project. So I will start from the our group milestone. JK Cement completed, JK organization completed 140 years, and in the grey cement business, our first cement plant in the Nimbala in 1975, and it located in Chittorgarh district of Rajasthan state, and we completed 50 years of JK grey business. Our white JK Cement is also in the white cement business, and our plant located in Bhutan, which is also in the Rajasthan state, and we completed 40 years of the white cement business. Next. This is the geographical presence of JK grey cement plant. Our 5 integrated plant and 8 grinding units are located in different parts of India. Presently, our annual cement production capacity is 32.26 million metric ton, and we are the 5th largest cement producer in India. JK Cement continuously expanding, and our 2 upcoming projects, one integrated plant in Jaisalmer and one grinding unit in Bikaner, are under construction, which will be commissioned before March 27. This is the product portfolio of JK Cement. JK Cement producing ordinary Portland cement OPC, Portland Pozzolana cement PPC, Portland Slag cement PSC, composite cement, and recently we started production of limestone calcined clay cement, that is LC3, from our Mangalore cement works in July 2025. Project. We know cement industries or cement manufacturing process are very energy intensive process. It consumes very large amount of thermal energy as well as the electrical energy, and this process very large amount of carbon dioxide gases generates around 850 kg CO2 per metric ton. The LC3 is a blended cement, and because of low clinker usage, the CO2 reduction is around 40% as compared with the ordinary Portland cement. This reduction in CO2 contributing our interim target of 465 kg CO2 per ton by 2030 and achieving net zero by 2050. In India, LC3 developed as a green cement because it reduced the carbon dioxide around 40% as compared to ordinary Portland cement. This product developed in India after long partnership of EPFL, Switzerland, and IIT Delhi. One good feature of LC3 is that LC3 allows us to use up low-grade limestone and non-ceramic grade coloritic tillage. Low-grade limestone, we can use low-grade limestone and LC3 having calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate 75%. And non-ceramic grade clay means having low kaolinite content. We can use clay which having kaolinite content 40% minimum. So apart from the CO2 reduction, the LC3 standards support us toward the mineral conservation also. In India, Bureau of Indian Standard, LC3 standard published in June 2023, and if we see the standard in the table, the Portland clinker allows from 50 to 80%, calcined clay from 10 to 35%, and limestone from 5 to 20%. LC3 is a blended cement, and in the compressive strength part, it is equal to the OPC 43 grade. Whereas other blended cement like PPC and PSC are similar to OPC 33 grade. Our objective was clear, that feasibility and production of LC3 with usage of existing system, with usage of existing resources, and pioneer in the cement in Indian market by scaling LC3 from laboratory level testing to its commercialization. This project we have divided in the 3 phases. In phase 1, feasibility study. So for that we are working from very long period, and we explored many mines within the state of Rajasthan as well as nearby the plant area. We collected samples from different areas, tested them in the laboratory for chemical composition and XRD analysis. Even we took support from TARA for clay exploration and of IIT Delhi for its testing to know the actual carbonate content in the clay through TGA and XRD. In this phase, the calcination temperature optimization, so whatever the clay having carbonate content more than 40%, we calcined in our laboratory furnace in different temperature from 700 to 900 degrees. And we monitored the amorphous content and loss on ignition, that is LOI, in 950 degree temperature. This LOI we considered as a temperature control parameter for further process. The calcined clay performance was also validated by grinding LC3 in the laboratory ball mill. In this phase, some challenges we faced, that the variation in the raw clay quality. There is very large variation in the clay quality available. Some clay having very high quartz content, some clay having calcite, and some clay having the high Fe2O3, that is iron oxide. The fineness is also a challenge, because when we targeting fineness blend 420 to 430, the retention in 45 micron was also coming higher side. The higher fineness causes for the higher water demand, higher normal consistency. If you see this table, this is one example of the quality of the clay available in the nearby area. If you see the table, the clay 1, clay 2 and clay 3 having presence of CaO and calcite. Such type of clay misguided us. When we calculated the carbonate content through loss method which mentioned in the standard. And if you see the clay 4, 5 and 6 having presence of iron oxide in the form of hematite. Such type of clay when we calcine, it gives the reddish in color. So it is very important, whenever we calcine the clay, the iron limit should be the fixed, it should be the set. And if you see the clay 10, it is having very high percentage of quartz and very low carbonate, so such type of clay is not suitable for LC3. And we see the clay 7, 8 and 9 having carbonate content 45 to 52%, and we selected this clay for our further process for calcination. Overall, based on the number of samples we have tested, we found that if a clay is having silica and alumina ratio between 1.5 to 2%, iron is below 2%, and loss on ignition at 950 degree temperature from 9 to 11%, this clay gives good carbonate content and good color which is suitable to make the LC3. This is based on the number of samples we tested. The calcined clay validation, so the clay we calcined in the laboratory furnace in different temperature, that is 750, 800 and 850 degree temperature. This calcined clay we interground in the laboratory ball mill, clinker with limestone and gypsum. Clinker we used 50%, limestone 15%, gypsum 5% and calcined clay 30%. We also used 0.1% water reducer chemical to control the normal consistency in between 28 to 29, because in our previous trial we found higher normal consistency between 30 to 32%. Gypsum we used 5%, which was the mixture of anhydride and mineral gypsum, limestone is used having CaO 41% and calcium and magnesium carbonate around 76%. The better strength gain we found when we with the calcine clay at 750 degree temperature in terms of 1 day strength to 28 days strength as compared with the 800 and 850 degree temperature. Only challenge was when we ground the cement in lab boundary for the targeting blend 420 to 430, the retention in the 45 micron was also higher, and the reason because the calcite clay and the limestone is the softer material than the clay. In phase 2, the phases of the industrial trial, so the crushing arrangement for size reduction, actually we fixed the size of the rock clay below 25 mm based on the some of our studies. So accordingly, some adjustment done in our existing crushing system. Rotary kiln retrofitted for the clay calcination. We selected our one kiln which is not having the feeding system for the clay. So some in-house installation done and connected this system with the kiln inlet for raw clay feeding. In operational control parameter, the process parameter we finalized, what type of size of the clay will be used, which type of fuel will be used, the clay feed rate, what temperature will be maintained in the burning zone as well in the kiln inlet. And one thing is that the kiln should be completely coating removed because so that the LOI can be measured accurately and integrated with the grinding system to ground the LC3 in the ball mill, HRP and ball mill system in Mangalore plant. Challenge in this phase we found kiln stability and heat balance. Actually we are using 100% Indian coal in firing for clay calcination, but at lower temperature, 800 degree burning zone temperature, the flame stabilization is a big challenge. So what we are doing, we are injecting liquid fuel oil alongside the fine coal for clay calcination. So this converting resulting in higher heat consumption. This is a quality of the kaolin clay, raw clay and calcite clay. The clay which we used for the calcination having kaolite content 45 to 52% and the loss on ignition in 950 degree 9 to 11%. We calcined this clay in 750 to 800 degree temperature with target of LOI 1.5. The outcome of this process is the calcined clay, and the calcined clay having amorphous content 38 to 45, which is very good. The live reactivity is above 8 MPa and the LOI is varying from 1.3 to 2 against our target of 1.5. In phase 3, we ground LC3 through our HRP and ball mill system and validated its performance in the cement, mortar and concrete. We compared this ground LC3 with OPC and PPC for mortar and concrete. For the durability study also has been done. For this, we sent the LC3 cement to IIT Delhi. They conducted complete study with LC3 and the durability part like sortability test, RCPT, RCMT, water boiling test, the performance of LC3 is good. Because of lower clinker factor, the CO2 emission is less. In our case, around 38% CO2 is less as compared with the OPC and 4 to 5% as compared with the PPC. Techno-commercial assessment also has been done and compared the cost of LC3 with OPC, PPC. The market trials, so we sent the LC3 cement to many places, many institutes for complete study as per their requirement, their need. The major challenge is the cost in this and product acceptance in the market. The cost of LC3 is higher than the PPC presently and almost equal to the OPC. So this cost can be optimized when kiln will running consistently for the calcination. But the challenge is the acceptance in the market. This is the graph of motor strength of LC3 and compared with this OPC 43 and PPC, if we see the graph, the one-day strength of LC3 is 3 MP less than OPC, but 3 days, 7 day and 28 day strength development is almost similar to the OPC. In the right side, the other chemical and physical parameters of the LC3 are well meeting the requirement of the standard. This is the test which we conducted with the cement. So to check the compatibility of the cement with the admixture, the Marshall test also we have done in our laboratory, and we have found the LC3 saturated with slightly lower doses as compared with the OPC 43 and PPC, that is in the 0.8% admixture doses. Heat of hydration test also done, and LC3 having lesser heat of hydration as compared with OPC and PPC, and reason is use of less clinker.
Okay, Mr. Khat, now please summarize.
Complete mixed trials also conducted in the laboratory. This trial we conducted without admixture to know the actual performance of the cement. And we fixed the water cement ratio 0.51, compared this study with for the OPC and PPC also. So if you see the silum part, silum is slightly less by 10 mm as compared to OPC, but it is better than the PPC. And the strength part of the concrete, the one-day strength is less by 3 MPa than as compared with OPC, but 3 day, 7 day and 20 day strength development are similar to the OPC. These are the some cement bags, LC3 bags, which we sent to the different places, institutes like IIT Delhi, IIT Chennai, Lodha Construction, Jewar Airport, Amazon India, L&T, even NCCBM also. And the right side is the photograph of LC3 concrete which is being used in Jewar Airport. One regulatory challenge we faced which delayed our project around 1.5 years. As we were the first cement industry to approach regulatory authority for LC3 production. But we faced a unique challenge of in approval from Rajasthan Pollution Control Board. Generally, the standard approval process follows a predictable timeline and very minimal discussions to reach a decision. But the path of LC3 was not so easy for us. If you see our regulatory approval process for LC3 production, it was very challenging for us. And for this, MNIT Jaipur conducted a detailed study for NIPL audit and certification and submitted this study to Rajasthan Pollution Control Board. Initially, Rajasthan Pollution Control Board reluctance was very high.
Please summarize. This is the time to summarize.
Reluctance was very high due to the LC3 is an innovative product, is a new product. The clay calcination technology is a new, and this is not recorded in any guideline. They are not having any reference, they are not having any example. So multiple times reviews, queries, clarification, personal hearing has been taken place. Even IIT experts also visited Rajasthan Pollution Control Board for convince, and finally we secured all regulatory approvals required for the LC3 production like NIPL, CTE, CTO. This whole process taken time around 1.5 years. The learning is consistent raw material and process control are needed. The size of clay is important to keep lower calcination temperature. Long running is needed to reduce the fuel cost and calcination cost, and of course the revenue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khat. So regarding the questions to him, we will be taking later on after completing all the presentations. And now I invite Sri Anirudh Sharma for his presentation on project management and its impact on Indian cement industry. Mr. Sharma.
good afternoon everybody. Can you hear me? Yes. I can't hear you. Can I just request good afternoon everybody? Good afternoon. Thank you very much. That's very interesting and very encouraging. As a speaker, it is very, very important to get feedback. I know we've had some sessions where there's been a lot of technical discussions, but all of that is very critical towards building what we are talking about today in this seminar and in this session today, right? The seminar that we have today, Project Management and Challenges and Opportunities in the Indian Market. So it's important for us to look at it from multiple perspectives. I will take less time today, but I will take time to talk about one aspect of this topic that I feel is very, very important, and that is the execution imperative. Before we actually get into it, there are two, let's say, things that I'd like to confess. One, when I was coming up over here, I realized my job is very easy and my job is very tough. Why is my job easy? It's because lovely speakers before me have already spoken about the importance of execution. So it's easy for me to talk about execution and take that chain of thoughts forward. It's also tough is because there have been some amazing speakers who have really spoken very, very well and spoken succinctly about the topic that we're talking about today. Let's understand one thing. Why have I named this session the execution imperative? Today, if you look at the industry and if you look at the cement industry, and all of you are leaders from the cement industry, capital is no longer the differentiator for an organization strategically. Right? Availability of resources, yes, to a certain extent may be a differentiator for an organization. But the real differentiator, the real challenge, the real thing that separates the good from the not so good is this one word called execution. And that is why execution today is the most critical thing that as an organization, as an industry, we need to focus on. It's very interesting for us to understand. I often say this, and this is something that I've used earlier also when I've spoken in other sessions, that both construction and cement as an industry, they are actually indicators of what is about to happen. So if you really think about it, before demand actually starts showing results by way of highways, or by way of, let's say, buildings and by way of infrastructure, the cement industry has already understood that demand, because to construct that, we needed to have that same raw material available 6 months, maybe a year ago. So in the real sense of it, the cement and the construction industry, in my opinion, is like a pointer towards what is going to come next. And therefore, a lot of us at PMI follow what happens in the cement and the construction industry. I made one mistake, I just realized that. My name is Anirudh Sharma. I work with something called the Project Management Institute. We are the global, let's say, the body, the authority that gives out the PMP certification. Some of you would have heard about the PMP certification. We are the body that confers this. We are also the body that has the largest aggregation of all project professionals. We are about 7.5 lakh project professionals across the world coming together to solve one problem. What is the next big challenge in the project management fraternity? And that is why we work very closely with industry. That's my mandate, that's my job. We work closely with government, we work closely with enterprises, we work closely with academia to look at the three aspects of how we can help industries become much more profitable and growth oriented. Government from a regulation point of view, enterprise from a partnership point of view, and academia from building up the talent pipeline. Because one of the speakers today in the morning said that if you don't have the right talent, then all of that we're talking about, it really will not become reality. Because we can draw beautiful pictures, but if there's nobody to execute those pictures on the ground, on the site, talented people, then all of that is not going to help us move forward, right? With that, I'm going to take a little bit of time to explain to you what, so execution problem again happening over here, but we'll make do with that. Seems to be something wrong with the presentation, it's not moving forward, but I'll just talk a little bit about it. It has, okay. So this is currently the state of the Indian cement industry. We talked about the fact that, the figure that I have is 639 million tons of installed capability. Somebody said 700 million, it's close by. But the interesting thing is the second part of it, which is the growth gap, which is where the growth for the industry can happen. And this is something which we should pay a little bit of attention to. The per capita consumption in India versus the per capita consumption globally, there's a huge amount of difference. Not exactly 100%, but close to that, right? And therefore, there is an opportunity for us as project managers and we cement industry professionals to look at how we can reduce this, Indian average versus global average and move forward, because this here in itself is a very, very large opportunity for us to look at over the next few years. Okay, so the demand for the cement industry is, like I said, completely tethered to the macro project, factors that we have over here. So project milestones, all of us are aware of these project milestones, such as the laying of foundation, pouring of foundation, for example, structural work and other things generate demand for the cement industry, and therefore we need to keep an eye out for those, let's say, milestones within projects as well. Any delay upstream has an impact on demand for us as cement industry professionals downstream, and that is where project management comes in very, very strongly. Now, we are not the project management institute of what your grandfathers thought about project management. We are today's project management institute. What does that mean? That means that we are today at something called PMBOK 8, which is the latest version of what are globally accepted benchmarks and best practices that we are giving out to industry. Today we are talking about certifications and skill development programs that we are running, where we are talking about the latest that has not even happened yet in a large part of the industry also. Today we are talking also about getting technology and AI into construction, and by the way, we have amazing amount of content which we've developed for AI certifications for individuals who are working in construction and related industries as well. Why are we doing this? We are doing this to ensure that latest that is happening in the industry comes back into the community. Because for us at Project Management Institute, community is our superpower. What is our community, by the way? You might just say, community kya hai yaar? Community is us, all of us, working professionals, industry practitioners, people who work either in the project management or in related industries to ensure that the industry grows and goes forward. So this is how we bring about change, and this is how we help organizations kind of look at what are going to be the next imperatives for them to look at over the next 5 years, 10 years, and even further than that. These are some of the issues again that we need to look at from the point of view of what are the bottlenecks. I will not take too much time talking about it, because these are issues that you are already dealing with. But I wanted to bring them forward so that we are aware consciously of how is it that these impact us, and what is it that becomes important for us to look at when we are talking about these, some of these issues as well. The execution bottlenecks that we have within the cement industry, and that's interesting because material supply and delays which are there within the chain, that creates a large part of the problem that we have. Site level coordination challenges. मैंने बोल दिया था क्यों नहीं हुआ, right? And a lot of times alignment of objectives that are there at the site with what are there at, let's say, regional or head office levels. This is also another problem that we are facing constantly, and this is something that we need to work on because this creates a bottleneck for us. Weak scheduling is also another part of the problems that we face. Turnaround time, a large number of times it becomes very, very large, and therefore impacts the way in which the outcome presents itself, right? Now, what is the impact of all of this? There's delayed consumption realization, as we can see over here. There is highly volatile dispatches in a monthly variation, let's say. 1 month we are doing X, the next month we are doing X by 2 or X into 2. And therefore the volatility is very, very large. Volatility being large means we need to look at infrastructure to have that material stored safely, because that's another challenge as well. And unpredictable regional demand planning. The demand is predictable, but the planning of that demand sometimes is not as predictable, and that is where again project management comes into the picture, giving you a clear picture of how things are happening, what is it that we do on a regular basis, what's the anticipated demand over the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and how do we build capex so that we are able to meet that demand as well. The hidden margin penalties, obviously chaotic timelines lead to weaker margins. And one of the researches that Project Management Institute did globally and found out a very staggering figure, and I wanted to present this in front of all of you, is that margins erode profitability by as high as 21%. And India is on the lower end of that margin spectrum, where we are close to 18.9% the impact, which is something that we need to be working on. And that is why it becomes important for us to be looking at how is it that we can manage this volatility and what is it that we can do to make our projects resilient. By the way, a lot of us think project management ka matlab hai ek theoretical concept, planning, scheduling, operation, blah blah blah, 8 steps hai, wo follow karo, yahi hoga. Project management is no longer like that. Today it has the ability to impact, to understand what is going to be global issues that are happening, let's say in West Asia. Or it has the ability to absorb the impact of supply chain issues which happen from time to time. The way in which the future of project management is structured is that it is able to take in the impact of these small bumps that come along the way. ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर हम 6 महीने तक काम नहीं करेंगे तो project management हमें बचा लेगा. That will also not happen. But we also need to understand these small volatilities which are there in the environment. Today we all live in something called the VUCA world. Have you heard of VUCA? VUCA is basically volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. बहुत uncertainty है. Volatility, you know what happens. आज यहाँ bomb फोड़ दो, कल वहाँ फोड़ दो, कल कहीं और कर देंगे. So all of these factors also have an impact on what we do. But the interesting thing is, project management as a discipline and as a science, and I use this word very seriously, discipline and science helps us overcome these problems that the VUCA world presents to us. And that is what we need to be working towards as industry captains and industry leaders. This is what the past was. And today if we were to shift and implement centralized EPMO principles, EPMO is Enterprise-Wide Project Management Office. A project management office which is central, enterprise-wide, managing 50 projects at the same time, yet ensuring that the benefit of one can be passed on to the other, can be passed on to the third, fourth, fifth, and ensuring that there is synergy. And the interesting thing is, if you put an EPMO in your organization, within the first 1 year of project implementation, you will see a cost benefit of between 5 to 9%. This is something that is emerged out of research. And when we are talking about multi-billion-dollar projects, or even if we are talking about smaller projects which are millions of dollars, but we are talking about 10 projects working simultaneously, imagine the impact it is going to have on the bottom line. Imagine the impact that it's going to have over a period of time to the way in which your organization works. And by the way, all these figures that I'm quoting, these are all backed by research conducted by third parties which have validated what we say. So a lot of this research conducted by McKinsey, Gartner and other leading organizations which come back and say, listen, you were right. Because when we did this research, we found that what was being claimed is actually being achieved. And this is why I urge all of you to start thinking about this word called project management very, very seriously. It's not just managing projects. It's a lot more than that. It's a lot more because it's about the way in which you think, the way in which you behave, and the way in which you execute from there. Because like I said at the beginning of this presentation, execution imperative. Bar I'm going to come back to that punchline. Not a punchline, it's a reality, but that's what I'm going to come back to again and again. So the prize at the end of it is, we've got a $1.4 trillion worth of projects waiting for us. If we have refined and focused supply chains, if we have better control over our projects, that's the prize that is waiting for us at the end of that shift. And it's a shift that we have to come up with. What are the challenges that we'll also have to look at over the next 10 years or so? We're going to look at capacity expansion, CapEx. And also we're going to look at decarbonization. The government is talking about sustainability as a very serious work. And when we're talking about aligning ourselves with ESG goals, then we have to look at decarbonization very seriously. We have to look at CapEx also very, very seriously. And this is where, I've written on the slide here itself, project management can help you by looking at various alternatives, multi-location portfolio prioritization. And that's how we work with leading organizations going forward, and that's what the role of the project manager is going to be going forward. There's a lot of digitalization that we are talking about, and when I was coming in for the event in the morning, somebody made a comment, and I was just passing and I heard that comment, that everybody is talking about AI. Yes, everybody is talking about AI, because it's important, because it has an impact. Because today, as we are talking about AI, the impact that AI has on projects is huge. Globally, last year, AI helped organizations save close to 9.4% of total expense that they made over projects in that year itself. 9.4%. That's a good amount of money being saved by AI. Now, I don't say that AI is all good. AI might have a other side to it, which is maybe not the best. But as we go along, we have to adapt to technology and change ourselves according to technology. And data and digitalization is something that is going to really help us, because it helps us make the best possible decisions coming forward. Right? This is what the EPMO helps you with. And I just wanted to put this up in front of everybody so that we understand that as a structure, your project management office, which is the enterprise project management office, can do so many things. Over the last few years, there have been multiple mergers and acquisitions that cement organizations have seen. How do we ensure that there is synergy between the new entity and the existing entity? Or do we bring them together or keep them completely separate? That's another question that your EPMO is going to talk about. And data at the end of everything is very, very critical. And this is what this EPMO structure does. It helps you in terms of logistics and supply chain as well. Helps you in terms of greenfield and brownfield capability expansion, capital expansion as well. So all of these factors coming in very, very clearly. What's the real big challenge that we have? The national capability imperative at this point in time. The evolution of leadership, and somebody talked about skill development. How do we get the right kind of people involved? And that's something that PMI as an organization can help you with. Our community, our learning resources, our certifications, but most importantly, our ability to understand what is going on in the industry and work with organizations towards helping them. So I'll just give you a very quick example. We are currently working with one of the largest business groups that India has. I can't obviously name that group right now. But that organization asked us to come up with a capability matrix, saying, what capability should a project manager have? Do we have a matrix or a grid where we can map and see where we are doing well and where we are not doing so well? So we actually conducted a capability audit for them. And right now we are in the process of developing that capability matrix for them, so that at each level, across each business, they know कि एक project manager के पास क्या skills होने चाहिए और क्या नहीं होने चाहिए. What are the must-haves? What are the not so important ones, and what are the ones which we don't care about but ठीक है तो है. So this is what we are doing with various organizations, because we understand the importance of how project management needs to evolve from just being a thought process into being a really, really important science the way in which we're working with others as well. These are next steps that we have thought that are important.
So please summarize.
Certainly, sir. Thank you. I said I'll keep it short, but I just kind of got carried away. But these are some of the things that we need to look at for the C-suite also, looking at programmatizing ESG goals, digitalizing the PMO, standardizing CapEx execution, and then aligning upstream logistics, right? These are some of the other things that are important, and I'll in the interest of time, just take about a minute for you to read through. Looking at what are sustainability initiatives where project management can also help you. So green initiatives, which are very, very important and critical, and project management as a tool for strategic growth. Please understand, today project management is no longer a good to have skill in an organization. It's a need to have skill in an organization, because it ensures whether your organization is on the right track for growth or on just the track for growth. There are two different paths. You can grow, and you can grow in the right way. And that is where it becomes very, very important for us to look at and understand and appreciate what project management can do for us as an industry, and also for us as an organization. I'm going to quickly wrap up by saying this, that projects are like monsoons. Everybody knows it's coming, but Delhi mein 1st June ko aayega ki 16 June ko aayega, that's the problem. Just put a little bit more thought and you'll be able to get the exact date for when your project or your monsoon is going to land. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been excellent talking to you, and please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Anirudh. So now I invite Deepak for his presentation on Shree Cement Navalgarh project.
Good afternoon to all. First of all, I want to thanks to NCBM to provide us this type of platforms. आज ऐसा पहली बार हुआ जब सब इंडियन सीमेंट इंडस्ट्रीज के सारे एक्सपर्ट्स, और मैं बॉलीवुड की भाषा में लोग धुरंधर सब एक जगह पर बैठे हुए हैं इस सब चीज़ों को प्रोजेक्ट को डिस्कस करने के लिए. Today I am going to discuss Navalgarh cement project. This is the Shree's biggest plants and one of the largest cement plant of the India also. This project is special for us, not only for the skills, but because the journey behind it. Because to execute this type of projects required detailed planning, close monitoring, dedications, and multiple teams, and timely decision making at every time. Before I share about the Navalgarh projects, first I want to share some of the SCL journeys. Okay. Shree Cement started their working in 1979, and this slide shows how the cement industry is going on, and this also shows our future aspiration. These are some of the brands which are utilizing. This slide shows the journey of the cement, our Shree Cement, how we work and we progress over the decades. This slide shows our geographical presence of Shree Cement. These are some of our brands. We are the third largest cement manufacturers in India, and we have the largest kilns in our UAE plants, and number of highest kilns, and also at a single location in Glass. We are the largest green energy generation. This also shows our products. And this slide shows about the zone-wise productivity. And also these are the power portfolio. Now, I come on the Navalgarh projects. Navalgarh projects, it's a very big project. We faced in this project challenges. We identified the opportunities, and one of the things that we work together with our teams, along with our consultants, vendors and partners to achieve these goals. This plan is commissioned in December 2023, and this is the world's largest plant I have shown. This is having steady preliminary cement leadership, exceed 80 MTPA, cost 2028. As I say, that this is the one of the most biggest plants. This having the more than piling quantum 40,000 and there are the pilings of more than 3,000. This having the civil concrete more than 1,82,000 and mechanical fabrication is also 18,000. This involves most of erections 34,000 and factories. There was the biggest problem in Navalgarh side that there was the 40-meter overburden in the mines area. So we have to put the pressure according to the overburdens. We put the pressure at the -70-meter depth. This is the, I think, one of the deepest pressure installation in the India. This is the largest Octal ovens, 1072 pH. Preheater having the design very optimized footprints area. This is having the half of the, this area is half of the our hockey grounds. This is our biggest kilns. This is shows the 6 meter depth. And one other thing that we have the largest coolers in cement industries. This is having 325 meters square area. The challenges we have faced in the cement and Navalgarh projects. The major challenges was the mining. That I have told you that there was a 40 to 50 meter was the overburden. So we have to remove the overburden and put up these plants according to that. There was always in greenfield roads there was some iron local issues. The installation of crushers, the pilings, delivery. As the plant was very bigger and the equipments are very higher size, so there was a very bigger problem to deliver the equipments at the sites. High volume of fabrication and bigger assemblies and erections. In Navalgarh, I already told you that there was a huge overburden. So we have put the pressure at the -70 meters. For installation of the crusher, we have to move 10 million tons overburdens from the areas. And there was the biggest problem of the water seepage. We have installed the water pumps to pump out the waters from all the areas and makes the mines like where that we can install a bed properly. These are the view of the primary location, secondary location. In this, we can say the crusher location and all the surrounding area. In all the greenfield projects, some challenges are comes that there was a problem of some local IR issues in this area. When we are going to install a bell conveyor from crusher to plant area, there were some local issues and IR issues. So we are not getting the lands to install this bell conveyors. So we make a number of options before we get the clearance from the IR issues. We make the engineering, we make all the option, हमने सारे की सारी तैयारी करी कि किस तरीके से हम इसकी डिलीवरी को मिनिमाइज कर सकते हैं और जिस समय हमको ये आयर इश्यूज क्लियर हुआ वी स्टार्ट टू पुट द ऑल द मैन पावर्स टू गेट द बेल कन्वेयर सिलेक्शंस हमने सिर्फ ओनली 4 days के अंदर इस बेल कन्वेयर का इंस्टॉलेशन किया वी यूज्ड द ऑल द प्री कॉस्ट कॉलम्स ऑल द प्रिपरेशन सारे कॉलम्स और ये सब की तैयारी करके रखी कि डे नाइट काम करके ओनली 4 days रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ दिस वेल्स 1.2 kilometers was there. Also, as the SBC was very low of the Navalgarh side, so we have to do the pilings, and there was more than 3,000 pilings. So इतनी सारी मशीनरी को सबको एक साथ मैनेज करना, pilings करना, इसके लिए हमने 3 से 4 कॉन्ट्रैक्टर मोबिलाइज किए और 10 to 12 सीरीज मशीन को ऑलरेडी वहाँ पे इंस्टॉल करी और उसके अकॉर्डिंग इन सारी मशीनों का मैनेज करना. We have done 85% piling in 4 months. As there was a huge volume in Navalgarh plants, more than 30,000 metric tons. election was there, we have election achieved 3,000 plus. तो इन सब के लिए जो हम बात करते हैं कि प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट और ये सब कुछ की बातें करते हैं, तो इलेक्शन तो एक दिन होता है, लेकिन उसके पहले महीनों की तैयारी की जाती है इसके लिए। जैसे कि हम बात करते हैं कि नवलगढ़ राजस्थान में सिचुएटेड और जो लोकेशन है ये काफ़ी वाटर स्केर्सिटी वाली लोकेशन है, तो यहाँ बेसिकली हमको वाटर की बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम थी। सो व्हाट वी हैव प्लान्ड इन अर्लियर स्टेज, वी डन द MOU विद द नवलगढ़ म्यूनसिपालिटी। हमने उनके साथ में STP के वाटर प्लानिंग करी और वी लेट द 13 किलोमीटर STP लाइन्स फॉर यूज ऑफ द सीवरेज वाटर प्लांट। अब जब बात करते हैं कि हमको प्रोजेक्ट लगाना है, कितनी बार हम जब बात करते हैं कि प्रोजेक्ट डिलेस हो रहे हैं, डिलेस होने के बेसिकली रीजंस होते हैं कि हम कितनी बार हमको डिलीवरीज नहीं मिलती, हमारी इंजीनियरिंग पीछे रह जाती, सब कुछ जाती है। जिस टाइप ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट के लिए डिलीवरी के लिए हमने वेरी फर्स्ट डे से हमने प्लानिंग करी। वी मेक अ टीम, डेडिकेटेड टीम फॉर टेकिंग द फॉलोअप ऑफ द डिलीवरीज, वी मेक द डेडिकेटेड टीम फॉर इंजीनियरिंग। कितनी बार क्या होता है कि हम सिर्फ फ़ोनों पे बात करते हैं और सब कुछ करते हैं और पार्टनर से बात करते हैं कि हमारी डिलीवरीज कब तक आएगी, कैसे आएगी, लेकिन शी सीमेंट ने अपना स्टाइल थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस लिया हुआ है। हम जो सप्लायर्स हैं उनकी साइड्स पे हम हमारी टीम को रिक्रूट कर देते हैं, ताकि क्या है कि हमारी डिलीवरीज किसी भी तरीके से डिले नहीं हुए। वहीं पार कर जाए, अगर आप रिव्यू करेंगे कि इतने बड़े प्रोजेक्ट की होते हुए, मतलब इतने लार्ज वॉल्यूम पे भी होते हुए हमारी डिलीवरी जो है प्रीपोन हुई 2 मंथ्स अगो, और सारा मटेरियल हमको टाइमली डिलीवर हुआ। सेकंड, अगर मैं बात करूं तो इतने बड़े मटेरियल्स को साइट्स पे शिफ्ट करना, दिस वाज द वेरी बिगेस्ट चैलेंज फॉर अस। हम बात करें कि हमारे किलन के शहर हमारा 6 मीटर डाया के हैं। दिस वाज ट्रेवलिंग फ्रॉम मथुरा, सो नंबर ऑफ ब्रिजेस आर कमिंग। हमने मोड से बात करी कि किस तरीके से ब्रिजेस के नीचे से हम मशीनरीज को मूव करेंगे, ब्रिज के नीचे से डिगिंग्स किया, सब कुछ किया। उसके अलावा बात करें तो हम जो एक्सपांशन जॉइंट्स और अदर जो मशीनरीज आती है कि जो साइट्स पे मूव्स नहीं हो सकती थी, उनको हमने पार्ट्स में लिया और उनको साइट्स पे असेंबल किया और उसको डिलीवर किया उसके अकॉर्डिंग। हमने जो शीश मिल में सबसे बड़ी बात क्या करी, जो इसकी इंजीनियरिंग करने के लिए हमने इन हाउस टीम बिल्डअप किया पूरा का पूरा, जो कि पूरा का पूरा इंजीनियरिंग हमने अकॉर्डिंग उसके हिसाब से किया। सारा हमारा इंजीनियरिंग की टीम को जो सप्लायर्स की टीम पे भी बिठाया, इवन जो सप्लायर वेंडर्स हैं उनकी टीम्स को भी हमने हमारी साइट्स पे बुलाया, ताकि जो ये लेकुना होता है, कितनी बार क्या होता है जो ऑर्डर्स हो जाते हैं टाइम पे, लेकिन हम बात करते हैं कि आज ये ड्राइंग्स के अप्रूवल्स नहीं हुए, इंजीनियरिंग नहीं हुई और इसके वजह से डिलीवरीज होती है। बाद में कोई ये नहीं कहता कि सब यही बात होती है भाई आपका ऑर्डर तो इस समय हो गया था लेकिन हमने डिलीवरीज नहीं की। तो उन सब चीज़ों को ओवरकम करने के लिए हमने हमारी डेडिकेटेड टीम बनाई हुई है। तो डेडिकेटेड टीम हमारी वहाँ पे बैठ के सारा जो भी है, जो नंबर ऑफ मेल्स को रिड्यूस करती है और उसको एट ए टाइम पे सॉल्यूशंस देती है। और जो साइट्स स्टार्ट करने के लिए जो शुरुआत में लगती है, जो सब चीज़ें कि हम लोग सब बाद में करते हैं हम लोग, तो वो भी शीशे में उस हिसाब से फास्ट करता है कि जैसे सारे ब्रिजेस पहुँचाना, वहाँ पे 4 to 5% के स्टोर से टीम्स पहुँचाना, एग्जीक्यूशन और कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स और इस सब के लिए प्लानिंग करना। तो शीशे में एक स्ट्रेटजी रही है कि हम जो भी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स और ये सब कुछ लेते हैं, तो जैसा कि अनुपम सर ने बताया कि हम जो L1 को जो प्राइम कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स होते हैं 102 लेते हैं और उसके अलावा सपोर्टिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हम 3 से 4 लेते हैं। दिस विल बूस्ट अप द ऑल द प्रोजेक्ट एक्टिविटीज, क्योंकि हर कॉन्ट्रैक्टर से जो बताएंगे एक लिमिटेशंस होती है। कुछ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स छोटे होते हैं जो छोटे स्केल का ही काम कर सकते हैं, उनको अगर हम बात बोले कि आप बड़े प्रोजेक्ट करो तो वो वहाँ पे फेल हो जाएंगे। तो हम छोटे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स के हिसाब से आइडेंटिफाई करके रखते हैं कि छोटे जॉब्स क्या क्या निकालने हैं और उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम उसको प्रोवाइड कराते हैं। तो दिस विल इंक्रीज ऑल द बिल्डिंग्स साइमल्टेनियसली। और जो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम जो आज की तारीख में प्रोजेक्ट्स में आती है, मैन पावर का रिटेंशन। ये हमेशा सब जगह का प्रॉब्लम है कि मैन पावर को रिटेंस कैसे किया जाए। तो अभी आज की तारीख में हम सबसे पहले मैन पावर्स के लिए कॉलोनीज बनाते हैं, उसको वेल फिट डेवलप करते हैं, 3 से 4 पर्सन्स वहाँ पे छोड़ते हैं जो सब कुछ करे और सारी उनका इंश्योर्स करते हैं कि उनको किस तरीके से हेल्प मिले। प्रोजेक्ट का जीतने का सबसे बड़ा तरीका वही है कि जिसने मैन पावर रिटर्न कर ली वो उसका प्रोजेक्ट बड़े आराम से निकल जाता है। तो उसके लिए हम सारी वर्किंग करते हैं। जैसे अनुपम सर ने बताया कि वो कॉलोनी में जाते हैं, हम उसके आगे भी 1-2 काम और करते हैं कि जैसे जो खाना बनता है उनका, वो उस खाने के में बनने वाली जगह पे भी हमारा एक इंजीनियर जाता है, इवन हमारा इंजीनियर भी उसके साथ में बैठ के वो खाना खाता है कि उस खाने की क्वालिटी को इंश्योर करता है कि वो प्रॉपर है कि नहीं, ताकि मैन पावर को जो खाना मिले, सब कुछ मिले, वो प्रॉपरली मिले। तो दिस विल हेल्प टू रिटेन द मैन पावर एट आवर साइट्स, और इस वजह से हमारे प्रोजेक्ट हमेशा टाइमली एग्जीक्यूट होते हैं। सेफ्टी इज द बिगेस्ट टूल। जैसा कि कपूर सर ने बताया कि सेफ्टी के साथ चलने से प्रोजेक्ट कभी डिले नहीं होता, प्रोजेक्ट हमेशा फास्ट एग्जीक्यूशन मोड पे ही जाके पड़ता है। वी आर प्रेस्ड टू गॉड दैट कि हमारा जो नवलगढ़ प्लान था, जीरो फैटिलिटी वाला प्लान था, इसमें कोई भी मेजर एक्सीडेंट कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, और प्रॉपरली सेफ्टी की वजह से ही हमारा प्लान एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम नहीं हुआ। क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस के लिए भी हमने डेडिकेटेडली हमारी टीम्स बनाई हुई थी, जो साइट्स पे जाके सारा इंश्योरेंस कर देगी क्वालिटी वाइज मटेरियल आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, सब कुछ पता है। हमने हर चीज़ के लिए एक छोटे छोटे स्मॉल टीम्स का जनरेशन कर दिया था कि डिलीवरीज के लिए ये 2 से 3 बंदे रिस्पॉन्सिबल रहेंगे, क्वालिटी के लिए रहेंगे, सब कुछ करने में रहेंगे। तो उनका डेडिकेटली उनकी जिम्मेदारी है कि वो सब कुछ जाके देखना, करना और समझना। तो मीनवाइल हमको इसमें प्रोजेक्ट में कोई क्वालिटी और एक्सक्यूशन के लिए कोई प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं है इस वजह से। That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. So now for the last presentation, I will invite Sri Anilji from NCV and emerging PMC with proven potential.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. So in this presentation we will cover the one of our completed project and one of the current project insights will be shared by our colleague Mr. Saurabh Bhattacharya. So this is the first project we had completed is type chip storage handling and trading system in Oman Cement in Oman. So that is generated by the Oman Cement management to reduce the carbon emissions and to make it to zero by 2030. So we have studied the inventory of the available waste material in the Oman region. So majorly is the tires, whole tires is there in the region. Around 45,000 tons of material is inventory in the Oman Cement, and is generating every 30,000 tons per year every year. So we studied the different regions of the Oman. What is the percentage is availability? So this is the storage. So what is the issues to go for the feasibility? So we had done the feasibility study before setting up the project for execution. So major issues are this: which is line for PD fitting. Oman Cement has 3 cement lines. One is 2000 TPD, 2500 TPD, and 4500 TPD. So we have studied all these 3 lines. What is the best line to put the type chips made? So and also what type of tile we can use it, whether it is whole tile or shredded tiles, based on our system availability. And then also the firing location, which point we have to fire, this is kiln or pre-calciner. So other is system. So what is the feeding system, what is the storage system, and then handling system, and the investment. So this is the type chip characteristics. In our laboratory we have tested, it is around 6,700 kilocalories. So major parameter which will be impact our clinker in type is the zinc. So with this type chip we had analyzed this. So with 21% of TSR, so zinc will be within the limits of 100 ppm in our clinker. So that we have restricted that limit as a TSR for design of the system. So whether system design basis is shredder price we have considered, since the plant is having a shorter length of the calciner, to fire these whole types or in kiln inlet or calciner. So we have decided for the short shredder types, and also type chips of size 50 mm we have decided based on the computational fluid dynamics study of the calciner. So which point we have to fire so that the total type chips will be burned and also less droppage in the smoke chamber in the kiln. So we have studied the kiln and calciner parameters, and we have decided the rated capacity of the system is the 5 mph is the operating and 7.5 TPS design. So during the selection of the system, so we had considered the other options of type chips after few years. So type chips may not be available in the region. So we had designed the system so that we can use RDF, municipal solid waste or wood chips, so other alternatives. So we had given the margin for the system. So these are the impact assessment we have done based on the operational and clinker qualities. The calciner resistance time, it is available 4 and 4.1 second with TDF. It is observed in the CFD studies, and heat consumption is very marginally increasing. And then G is the restriction for the increase in DSR for the system. And then NOx, since they are using 100% natural gas, we are using the solid fuels, the NOx is reduced to 80%, 20%. This is the system configuration we have designed. One is the grab crane with the covered storage with the orange peel type of crane, and then apron by feeder for the storage, weighing, and then flexible belt conveyor for lifting the material to the preheater, and then belt conveyor with magnetic separator to remove the foreign material, and then electrical double flap for the feeding down to the calciner. And some of the sample preparation and testing equipment also we had considered in the project. So for preparation of the TDF, there is cutting wheel and seals, and other analysis, technical analysis, bomb pillar meter, CHR measure, gas station, mercury measure. These are all the items we have considered in the design for completely set up this project. This is the CFD study we had done for the calciner. So we had identified 3 locations in. So this is the point 1, 2, 3 GHI. So we had studied this parameter and we had feed the various sizes of the tire chips and also the various flow rates. So finally I identified that this is the H point where we can use lower CO generation and also lower droppage to the smoke chamber. So we had decided this location and we fixed the item and angle of the tube to the calciner this connection. So this is the point we have to analyze for the better combustion of the tire chips in the system. This is the process flow diagram in the CCR. So from the storage of the material to the feeding to the calciner. This is the performance test of the system where it achieved 23% TSR during the commissioning itself. Since we had done with the proper feasibility analysis and the selection of the system design based on the process parameters and then CFD study, so that one at go we had achieved about 23%. So client itself shocked because every TDF system or any alternative fuel system gradually will increase 5%, 8%, 10%. So in this we had studied the design is perfect, so we can able to achieve directly the 23% TSR. So this is our completed project, and Master Saurabh Bhatnagar will give the insights of our running project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So I am in the position between you and lunch. I'll try to be short if not interesting. Well, this presentation is about a 600 tons per day cement plant which is being executed in Africa, a continent of opportunities which shares a common aspiration of growth and development like us. But some, if not many countries in Africa will certainly qualify to be part of the VUCA world. In the past, India observed a string of failed cement projects. It funded under lines of credit in Africa due to lack of knowledge by governments setting up that project, erroneous clauses in the contract, and absence of an expert to guide them through an entire process of concept to commissioning. This led to loss of money and reputation of our country, but there were some learnings from such failures as well. In 2015, Government of India directed Exim Bank of India to provide a soft loan for setting up a 600 tons per day cement plant in Republic of Congo, and NCB was assigned as PMC. The project is divided in 2 packages. Package 1 for mine development and package 2 for setting up the plant on turnkey basis. These are some of the details. Package 1 was completed and handed over in November of 2023, whereas package 2 is approximately 85% complete. The target date for completion of this project is June 2026, and once completed, this will be the first project to be commissioned by India in Republic of Congo. The project at present is employing approximately 300 locals. We come to the Congo project specific challenges. Firstly, have been the duration of it. Second, land acquisition, as land there belongs to the local clans. Clearances, for which a dedicated official having technical and administrative background from the Republic of Congo was attached. Then we have some local issues like lack of industrial machinery, spares and unavailability of skilled manpower, which were mitigated by detailed planning and capacity building by deputing only supervisory staff from India and working with the local labor. One challenge was the COVID-19 and its fallout, leading to supply chain disruptions, manpower shortages, leading to enhanced energy and logistics cost, for which margin for contingencies have to be kept higher. Now we can generalize a few execution challenges for the emerging African nations as well, and their probable solutions. Lack of basic infra like electricity, power, water, land, etc. should be handled by the governments before finalizing the EPC contract with the contractor. Meticulous planning of resource mobilization is required. For lack of industrial machinery, training of local labor using supervisory staff to the extent possible will be required to make up for lack of skilled labor. Fluctuating energy and logistics cost due to global disturbances and unforeseen circumstances like wars, disturbances in marine lines, and outbreaks of multiple diseases in the continent can be mitigated to some extent by introducing a price variation clause mechanism with equitable contract price breakup. Also, opting for insurance bank guarantee than a normal BG allows for more headroom for the contractor to put the money in the project. Using insurance bank guarantee, a surety bond can be given to the customer, and cost of opening the IBG is lower and faster, as the margin money for BG is not parked with the bank. So in conclusion, when setting up a cement plant in African continent, one must opt for a turnkey project and select an EPC contractor who has already executed and delivered such a project in the continent, apply contract amendments at the right stage, proactively liaison for quick approvals of mines, land clearances, meticulously plan for resource mobilization and use local manpower as much as possible, find newer logistic partners and energy suppliers, delivering at reduced cost and time, and ensuring safety of men and material at site. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Anil and Mr. Saurabh. So now this is the time to take top 3 questions. Because of limitation of time, we are just going to have 3 questions. Yes, please. Yeah.
My question is from Shailesh from EY. You presented that AI will be used for the project management tools and the schedule can be made through that. A typical integrated unit will have around 2,500 to 3,000 line items for the scheduling. How we are going to take care of the AI hallucination problem, which is one of the most prominent with the AI solutions?
Hello. So these schedules which are made by AI, they are just a starting. Ultimately, where we used to take around let's say 15 days in developing a schedule, that time is crunched. That time now it goes down from 15 days to 2-3 days. But manual checking has to be done. It's not the truth that you will be making the schedule and giving it away.
There is a
Yeah.
There is a Niti report, roadmap for cement sector, and that says increased use of refused this RDF derived fuel from the municipal waste. solid waste. Okay, and this 20% has to be used by 2030. Is it possible, because there are a lot of contamination is there and high capital cost is required, high logistic cost is required, can we meet that target?
Sorry sir, I'm not the right if it was.
Are not you, the cement sector, the industry leaders are there, so who can take this? My second question is, the Indian cement requires huge amount of water for curing. Is there any development or innovation is going on for that? Thank you.
For the second question related to querying, there is a querying compound is available to reduce the amount of water used in the construction. It is already available and used in India in various sectors.
There is one more solution. Last year I visited China in some of the technical conference. They are developing the cement which can be used over the moon surface. And we all know that moon cannot sustain the water compound over there. So those compounds they are developing. So research is going on in the industry, but not yet in India.
And in US, one of the projects where we are working on in US, so their curing and etc. doesn't happen. It's all through compounds and everything is, so concrete is ready for, I think, putting load in the next 24 hours. So that's what happens in US.
Yes.
Maybe my next question to the forum is how we are going to tackle the Chinese challenges, because we are talking about the manufacturing in India, indigenous in India with the current government. Last 10 years they are pushing towards that. The participation of Chinese people who enter into the cement market is highly increasing day by day, and because of the government restrictions they are coming down a little bit. Is there any strategy mapping within our country to take up the challenges? Because we have to develop ourselves within the resources availability within India. That will grow the country to the next level. By 2050, we should be a sustained country in all the requirements. Any answer from anybody?
Can someone replying to this question?
So I think the answer to this question is, this is not related to today's topic, but I can just tell that it's all on doing our things better. So if we develop indigenous capability, why just for cement? If you look at defense sector today, there is so much happening for shifting whatever was being made outside to India. So it's an all over thing. It's not something which we are all working in that direction. But if each one of us does our job well and we encourage all the support, there are so many partners. Cement industry, why is cement industry going to China to import equipment? Comes out cheaper. Quality is also not bad. We may say China quality is bad, but we can, if you know the right thing and the right place, you get the right quality. Make it in India and the problem will not be there.
And for this first question, AFR is the solution.
The AFR we can talk over lunch. It's
Okay.
Green cement, this high cost of green cement, the government project, this should be mandatory for some percentage of the green cement. I request the National Council to take up this matter. Thank you.
Yeah, so in fact, this matter we have already taken several times with GCCA, with NCB, with CMA. What basically there is requirement of some regulatory approvals. Right now, even we are very well aware that in various government infrastructure projects, blended cement is not allowed. They have mandated that only for OPC. There is second option available. Right now, we are using 35% fly gas or PI in blended cement. There is all possibility we can go up to 40% also. There are several countries like Thailand and Indonesia where they have already changed their standards. So it is allowed. So things are really going on. What? It is time consuming. So there will be, if all industry is coming together and we are persuading to the government, then surely there can be possibility we can expedite it.
We need to encourage. The ROI is not here, then the industry will not go for the green cement.
Yeah, sure. In fact, Just for your information, World Jet a carbon capture plant has been installed by us in our Norway project. What fact is this? There is need to create the market. There is need to, in fact, have advocacy so that people are purchasing. When there will be 70-80 euros per ton of additional cost coming up, then people will not be purchasing if there is no specific, some advantage for them, some sort of incentives from government like this. So similar thing is required in India also. So now I don't want to stand up on the way to your lunch, so I want to conclude. So basically we had very truly enriching session today, and all the presentations are showing that India cement capacity is not just only expanding, it is evolving also. Our shared challenges are we need to complete the project faster, greener, safe and surely financially efficient. And today's discussion, various presenters, they already provided some practical ways how we can achieve. So when I listing out top 3-4 points in nutshell, then one is execution excellence is becoming a major differentiator. We need to improve on execution efficiency or excellence. Safety and speed must reinforce each other, not to compete. Technology, innovation and disciplined project management are going to shape the future. There is need to make, design or construct the plant which are future ready. And above all, collaboration and continuous learning is essential. So if there are such sort of sessions, then our industry will be getting strong and we will have collective journey towards excellence, our operational excellence. So with these words, once again I would like to thank all the presenters for their excellent insight and excellent presentations and active participation of audience. With this, I would like to formally conclude the session and request organizers to present felicitation to our speakers.
Yes, sir. Thank you for concluding. And thanks to all the speakers for such informative presentations. May I now request Chairman of the session, Shri Vimal Kumar Jain, to give quote and motivational speaker.
Thank you. Sir, welcome.
Shri Anupam Agrawal, Head Projects, Dalmia Bharat Limited.
Thank you.
Shri Prakhar Srivastav, Head Quality, UK Cement Limited.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shri Anirudh Sharma, Head of Markets for South Asia PMI. Shri Deepak Maganani, Head Projects, Shri Cement Limited. And Shri Anil Kumar Bopri, General Manager, NCB. and finally myself.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, thank you, sir.
With this we conclude